Check, check, check. Are we live? I need a 5.
5, 5.
5 by 5, son.
5, 5. Yeah. Hi guys, this is RedPill. I'm just hanging out with Thomas. I don't know if you guys can see us or if you can even hear us, but we're having some major technical difficulties tonight, and we've been trying all night to get this to work. Hopefully, if everything goes right, you're going to hear myself, you're going to hear Thomas, and you're going to hear Linda McAllister. Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Oh, Linda, you can turn around now.
Linda, look, say hello.
I'm like waiting because there's a lag between my computer and there's a lag between it.
8-second lag, always.
Yeah.
So can you hear me okay? And everything's okay?
Wait, can the audience
hear Linda?
Can you guys hear me?
We'll see it before you see it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I want to be in on it.
I get that. We can hear. I see people. Red, your voice sounds different on Thomas's mic. This is actually my mic. This is my mic all the way to South Carolina. It sounds different because it's on a different computer. It's a mystery to me. I don't know.
Okay. So we're good. So you can hear me, you can hear Red Pill, and you can hear Linda right now.
What about Truman? Can you guys hear Truman?
Truman, say something for the people.
Let me go back to that.
He doesn't want to talk.
All right. Linda is a little loud, they say. Well, let's turn her volume down.
Oh, that's different from normal.
Yeah, usually it's too low.
Usually it's too low.
Right.
So maybe I'm talking too loud. Maybe I'll talk in a more normal voice.
Turn down the volume on the speakers. So, all right.
Okay.
Well, hey guys, this is the first time I've left the house in probably close to 2 years. So, I want to say thank you to Thomas for getting me out of my shell.
Yeah, we've had a great day. I know I told a lot of people that we were going to go to the Georgia Guidestones, but tomorrow we're actually going to the Biltmore House to see the Podesta pool.
The
Vanderbilt pool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's where we're going tomorrow. Florida,
Wow.
fun. Welcome, Patriots, friends, and my favorite truth seekers. It's a great day for our president. The Democrats have failed again. Yes, they have. Yes, they
failed.
Are we good? Come closer to the mic, fellas.
All right.
Yes.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, we're just going to have to pass it like a blunt.
Hot potato.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
All right, here you go.
Okay. So, if you could hear, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the Mandela effect. And Linda, you have, I guess, stuff. Do you know a good bit about this? Because it's pretty much insane, in all honesty, if we get into the nitty-gritty of it. And we can bring in some stuff with it.
Yeah, I meant to print something out, but I got really busy today working on other things. But I've known about the Mandela effect for a while, and actually done some research recently about Antarctica. I'm working on a video about Antarctica and the breakaway civilization underneath the ice in Antarctica, and it is some mind-blowing stuff. Mind-blowing. And it has to do with the Mandela effect. It has to do with time travel, which we talked about before. And it has to do with the nature of time travel. And, all this stuff suddenly clicked into place. And what I've done is I've researched all the scientists, all the the Black scientists, the real government scientists, the military people, the MK Ultra victims from all across the history, and they're all saying pretty much the same thing. It just putting the pieces together and knowing what you know now, suddenly things start to make sense. And I think a lot of the MK Ultra victims have a lot of information on this stuff. When you're talking about the cloning centers and all of that stuff, it all is together. But the Mandela effect is where they want to rewrite history, and they do use time travel for that. Time is not what we think it is.
No. You're absolutely right. You know, and if people, the first thing that people want to say is like when they're like, oh, Mandela effect, the first thing I think of is like Berenstain Bears. It's like when I was a kid, I remember that book saying Berenstein, like Stein, like the Jewish name, Berenstain Bears. But now I look at it, and it frickin' says Berenstain, right? And there's actually been like recorded stuff. I think I've seen it on the internet where people say that they've actually seen like billboards change in front of them over time. Like I can look that up on the computer. Like billboards change. People say that like restaurant signs change, and it's like over like 2 days. But it'll be like, let's say we're gonna go to Sunshine's house, like Sunshine House, for it's like a restaurant or something. Sunshine. What are you doing?
I have a feeling.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So verifying right now. Okay. Linda wasn't talking. No more echo lost. Can't hear. No sound on. Better before. No. USB audio codec. Testing.
Check. 1, 2.
Okay, Linda, can you speak now?
I can hear Thomas really well, and testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Okay, well.
Can you hear me now?
If everyone can just verify that you can hear me,
Check.
you can hear Thomas, and you can hear Linda. Can you hear Linda now? No, Linda, please talk.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. No snarky. Princess Palm Beach says no snarky. No Linda.
Now we're 5 by 5 again. Better.
5 by 5. Better.
Now good. Now we're back.
It's okay. We can.
We're gonna just, you guys, I'm sorry. Everybody's gonna have to deal with the sound the way it is. Everyone's gonna have to deal with the sound the way it is right now, because this is as good as it gets. And I do apologize. When we go live on my show, it'll be on a different computer. So, pray to God that it works that time. All right.
Yeah, but people should know that we go through this crap all the time, all day long, with our own equipment, it's just a constant, with, I don't want to use a bad word.
Yeah.
Say it.
It's a pig screw. Let's put it that way.
Okay. All right. So what I was saying is, that's what a lot of people, isn't that what you think of when you think of Mandela effect? Is you think of like Berenstain Bears, and
yeah.
It's changed when we got older. Like it's completely different.
I mean, I hear lots of stories all the time of people, with the movie with Sinbad, where he's a genie. I hear that one a lot too. Apparently that doesn't exist, but I mean, I feel like I saw it when they were
Yeah.
younger.
Exactly.
A lot of people notice it on Wikipedia and on Google. They're changing the meanings of words. They're changing. This goes back to Babylon. I mean, they do the same things over and over and over again. This is just a more high-tech version of what they did back then when nobody could talk to each other. Nobody knew what was going on. They rewrote history. And, they've been doing that ever since, by the way, according to these people, that history has been rewritten a whole bunch of times, and that I think 1945, they said, was the last time they rewrote the history books and everything and changed all that stuff, but that they actually went back in time and did it. So they went back in time and actually did it. And the technology for the time travel, it's very, it kind of slips away from you. You'll be reading it and listening to it and you'll kind of understand it. But it's hard to understand something when you don't really know the nature of what you're dealing with. I'm trying to understand it based on what I know when everything I know is a lie.
Well, Linda, here's my question, and Paladin in the chat, I think he feels the same way. Right? I'm going to echo his sentiments. How do we know that this isn't just confused people? That time is actually being changed? That past events are being shifted into other realities? Well, is that actually the case, or are people just getting stoned and forgetting what they saw when they were younger?
Well, I guess it was in the 1960s. I don't remember the exact date. Maybe it was late 50s. They did the Philadelphia experiment. I think it was in the 60s. So the government's researching this time travel. They've been researching it. The Nazis were researching it, the Germans, and apparently they had some success with this. And this goes into dark matter and all of that. And, in listening to what happened in the Philadelphia experiment, this happened. This happened. The Philadelphia experiment is where they started with this whole time travel stuff over here. And what they did was they created, it was Tesla's technology, and they took it and stole it because they wanted to use it for their own agenda. And of course, yeah. And so they brought a lot of people on that ship that didn't know what was going on. They didn't know this was going to happen. And what happened is when you do this kind of thing, what is happening is it actually is shredding your DNA, because they put two opposite energy forces on either side. They have these magnetic poles, and I don't know the exact, the exact mechanics behind it, but they have these strong magnetic poles, and they turn these generators on at a certain time, and it literally makes things disintegrate. And they were experimenting with time travel. They were actually putting things back in time. Well, if you know it's going to happen, there's certain things you're not supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to stay focused on where you're going to go, and don't touch anything. Don't look or concentrate on anything, because your DNA is going to be literally shredded and then fused back together again. And what happened on that boat was that these people that didn't know, these soldiers that didn't know that they were supposed to be focused, and they were supposed to do all these things, not touch anything. They were confused. They were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. They were looking, they were grabbing the walls and all kinds of stuff like that. And they actually, when the thing came back, they were fused in to the walls. And they had all kinds of victims and witnesses that came out, and they shut them all up. And now, of course, you've got the Montauk Project, where they're doing the same dang thing that they did in the Philadelphia Project. So I don't think that the government has been spending all these years doing time travel experiments if there wasn't something to it.
What about the people who were taken away on the ship during the Philadelphia experiment? I mean, wasn't there like people that supposedly went and lived entire other lives? Like
Supposedly.
yeah. Al Bielek. I remember hearing stories about Al Bielek. Him and his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like fell into a vortex and then they lived another life and then they came back forward in time and then came back to the ship on the date that everything happened and then they saw it from another point of view. But I don't know if it was exactly the same. I guess if it was different, that would technically be the Mandela effect, wouldn't it?
Dude, right, yeah.
Well, the Mandela effect what the Mandela effect ultimately is to do is that we go to Google and Twitter, or, we go to the internet for all of our knowledge base, it's like a god, the Mandela effect. And then that way they can just keep rewriting it and doing it, whatever they want to, because we look to, and it's close to happening. People the first thing they do is Google it, and they think the truth is in there. And so that's what they're capitalizing on. They want to create this false reality for us, false history, false, everything in this Mandela effect. And to some extent, these scientists and these MK Ultra victims are saying that they are actually going back. That's what they want to do. They want to go back in time and fiddle with things. And Q also said time travel is fun.
Yeah, that's right.
So it makes me question, again, I always say this, reality, because, again, I'm looking at, you can go right now to, what is this? This actually is goodhousekeeping.com.
No doubt.
Right, I swear to God. So, and it says there's 40 Mandela examples that will blow your mind. And I was looking at one, and I swear, dude, how when you eat bologna, what do you call that?
Well, wait a second. Hold on. It depends. Bologna.
No. What's the brand? Yeah, Oscar.
Oscar Mayer.
Right, yeah, but it's not Oscar Mayer.
What is it?
It's Oscar Mayer. There's no way.
Are you saying it's Mayer?
There's yes. But wasn't there a song created by that? Like kids.
Mayer.
How I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener used to be their commercial.
Mayer when it's Mayer, like.
Yeah.
No, let me see the logo.
Bro, that's what really shocked me, dude. This shocked me. That's real, bro.
But that's not the way they say it on their commercial.
It's Meyer, yeah.
But it's Mayer.
Mayer.
That's Mayer. That's right, I think. Mayer. No, Mayer. Because the commercial used to go, my baloney has a first name, it's Oscar. My baloney has a second name, it's Mayer.
So it is MA.
Wow, I always thought.
Yeah.
But why were we pronouncing it?
Sorry about my voice.
I don't know. I guess.
I love that song, by the way.
I mean, we were just
Thank you.
stupid kids, Thomas. I mean.
maybe I don't know.
What? Give us some other like real life examples of the Mandela effect. I mean, what are some things that are there other ones that people commonly report, or is it? Because I've heard this is a great one. This woman, she said that she woke up and like her husband and her children were not her husband and her children. Like they were different people. And she was really freaked out about it. And she told the whole story, and it was like, different birthdays, different everything. It was crazy. But I mean, is that common, do you think? I mean, have you heard other people say that? Or is there other stuff like Oscar Mayer and
Fruit Loops?
Well, and I think a good example is the Democrat Party. They founded the Ku Klux Klan. That was the Democrat Party that
great.
formed the KKK.
Wait a second. I thought that Republicans invented racism.
No. That's the Mandela effect right there. That's just the Mandela effect.
That's a great example, though, because everyone thinks that. Like, everyone thinks that until what?
Nick No is in the house. Nick No is the guest on my show after this. But, Nick, if you have some examples of the Mandela effect in your life, or in your time working for the federal government, we would love to hear about it.
They're changing the meanings of everything right now. They're changing the meanings of words. They're rewriting history and putting it on Wikipedia. If you notice, they're taking people off of Wikipedia. They're editing history. You know, they're going in. They'll go in and put it's a conspiracy theory, you know, in Wikipedia, you know, to try to get people to, you know, believe what they want them to believe. And what they want is everybody to just go to Google and Wikipedia and for everything, all their information. And that's the end game, so that they can control all of us and what we know and what we think. And also, I do think that there is a lot of this playing around with time and mind games. And I think this interdimensional thing comes into play with too, when you say that somebody woke up and they didn't know their husband. Also, that could be an alter, you know, depending on what the person's history is. Because that's what happens to multiple personalities. They're walking around, and they don't know where they are. Their family's there. They don't recognize them. You know, they've been living this whole totally other life. So it's hard to say what that would be. But I remember in the missing 911 or 411, where David Paulides said that this family was up there, and another family came, and the family had the same exact name that they had. And I've also heard MK Ultra victims say that they have doppelgangers. So there's a lot of weirdness going on, and I think that all of this Mandela effect is meant to confuse everybody and keep everybody under their control with their machinations, so that they can bring in their new world order. And by the way, I think their new world order would have been hell on earth.
Absolutely. Linda, it sounds like you're saying the Mandela effect is so much more than just people waking up to things being named differently. Like, so this I had no idea that this was such a much larger phenomenon than people just being confused about the spellings of things or remembering the titles of books and names of authors. This could be much larger than I had ever imagined.
Well, you know, one thing I notice when I go back in old newspapers is I would used to think it was the truth, that the older thing was the truth, and that the new thing was the propaganda. But from what I'm learning now, they keep doing this over and over and over again. These people, this cabal, these Illuminatis, they've been around for a very, very, very long time, probably before even, you know, we're talking maybe even ancient Egypt and all of that. And so they keep repeating themselves. So they have to come up with some way to, brush away the footprints, so to speak, with the imprints in our minds of what their history is, because they keep doing the same things over and over again. And even the Mandela effect is basically just what they did in Babylon. Nobody could communicate with each other. They all had different ideas about history. They were all fighting. Different words meant different things to different people. So if you went to say something nice to somebody might think you were insulting them. So it was just madness all the way around, utter chaos. And there is a entity that comes into play here, and I should have written it down. I probably got it written down somewhere, but it's not Leviathan, but it's like that. It's an entity that they use or call up for all of this, the Babylon, the confusion, getting everybody to fight with each other because the language is all changing and messed up. They're trying to change the definition of words, and they're trying to present themselves as something that they're not. And for that, they need to do more than just change Wikipedia, just change Google, just change, because there's newspapers out there and all kinds of other things that are documenting their last set of lies, if you will. So the whole thing's a big lie. I mean, honestly, I don't think one thing we know is true. I think we're just going to have to relearn everything. I think they've been doing this over and over and over again, and I think they're older than we think they are. As a matter of fact, I know they're older than we think they are.
Do you mean that the people who are like running the deep state right now are actually like timeless, eternal entities? Like the same people keep coming back under different identities, maybe pretending like they died and then they come back?
Go ahead, Linda.
No, I was going to say, and this is kind of part of what I'm going to cover about Antarctica. This process of time travel, apparently they've been doing it for a long time. And they used to do it with crystals, with big quartz stones and stuff. So the same technology that Tesla used, they were using back in ancient days. So they've been doing this supposedly for a long time. Now, this is the consistent story that I'm getting from people and cross-referencing people's stories. They've been doing this time traveling thing, and the technology has just become more advanced and more, it's more technological than it was back then. It was more stones and stuff, energy. Since we don't really know what is the Earth is made of, it's hard to guess, on how something like that would work. But I guess the point is they've been doing this all along, and that what happens is when you time travel like that, it shreds your DNA, okay? And so it doesn't come back all the way, okay? Now, what happens is they have problems after they do this, physical problems. And I'm going to use Michael Jackson as a example of someone who has gone in and out, and they putting him in a thing, putting him in a thing. His nose was falling off. I think they said he was in 4 different clones. So we watched 4 different clones, and people are always doing this. This is changes of Michael Jackson. No, he's body jumping, and time traveling. And the DNA is getting shredded. And so what happens is, after so many centuries or whatever, they got to send them down to Antarctica. And what happens is, by that time, they're not even human anymore. Their DNA has been completely shredded in this whole thing. And apparently they're sending all of them down there. There's like every dead person you've ever known down there. Some of them turn into, some of the more ancient ones, this is what they're saying, are literally not even human anymore, because once they get down there, they get whatever they want. So they can do any depraved thing they want to, which is enlarging this part of the brain, and their DNA is all messed up. And so they can just be what they want to be down there, which is hellish. And if you remember, John Glenn went down there and came back and tweeted, "It's hell itself," and then he had a heart attack. But that's what they're saying this breakaway civilization is. It's all these people that can't come up here. They're monsters. They've shredded, their DNA has literally changed.
So I got a thing. So me and you were talking about this Red Pill today. Remember you were talking, you know what I'm about to say? You don't know what I'm about to say? Okay. No. We were talking about Weinstein.
Oh my God.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We never talked about Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, I just trip out. Yeah. Dude. Okay.
Mandela.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're
Okay,
yeah,
but she's talking about, like, these people are like
not human, right?
Well, that's what I said.
That's what Thomas said.
I go, because you mentioned a lady today describing Harvey Weinstein's body.
Yeah, so that he was a burn victim without gonads.
A burn victim with a vagina and didn't have balls.
Oh God.
And then we think of that she said I guess she saw him, and then who does that make me think of? Well, it makes me think of Jeffrey and his egg-shaped.
Yes.
That's right.
His wick.
So this
Egg-shaped penis is the problem.
But that's what I'm saying though. What you said is like they're deformed freaks. So the first thing I said to Red Pill, I said, I said, dude, it's because they're not human, bro. Like they're deformed because, and then she says this, that they're coming back and forth through time and they're being cloned and their physical bodies are breaking down. That's perfect.
Yeah, and let me just cap that off. They are literally changing their own DNA.
So this is more than just like taking a full bottle of vitalometry and increasing the length of years on a daily basis. That was a 412 Anon joke, guys. I don't know if you know that. But yeah, okay. Well, I mean, so Linda, tell me this: how did you come up with the theory that they're going through time and like that's changing their DNA? Is this?
No, I didn't come up with the theory.
But I mean, like I figured that you came up in your research, or that somebody like gave you.
No, that's what people are saying.
Okay.
And I'm looking at how many people are saying it throughout the expanse of time that have been down there and had access. And who are these people? Well, they're scientists, a lot of scientists, a lot of military people who have been down in Antarctica and in bases, Montauk, like those guys in Montauk.
There's just said insectoids. I had heard that there were some like insect-like beings at Montauk specifically. A couple of different types of aliens that would like walk down the hallways. They were like scientists there, and they were helping with the torture of children and stuff like that.
Well, what they're saying is that, and also those real lizards are also real.
Oh yeah.
I think we've got a lot of things going on here because I think these people have been gene splicing and doing all kinds of stuff. But here's what I know for a fact. That we don't know, everything we know is a lie.
Oh, yeah.
And that we don't know what shape the earth is really. We don't know anything really. You can have your theories about it, but we're kind of waiting to find out what the real scientists are saying. So in that world, anything is possible. With that in mind, anything is possible. But I'm not saying it. I'm listening to what they're saying. And that is the thing that's adding up to me, about what's in Antarctica. And that goes along with other things that I've learned from people more recently.
We have to talk into that microphone. This one's for Linda, remember?
Oh. So you want to just pass it back and forth like a stand-up mic?
Just put that one right here in between us.
Okay. All right.
I have my own microphone.
Is that better? Is that better, audience? There you go.
Okay.
All right. See, we have two microphones. One of them is for talking to Linda. One of them is for talking to the audience. Guys, I hope that this is better. I do appreciate your patience with us. The egg-shaped pizza. Wait till you see this one, Linda. From Lemony Basil. All right.
So what's going on?
He said, a lady said egg-shaped penis earth.
Yes, right.
Egg-shaped penis. I say that all the time. I'm never going to let the world forget that Jeffrey Epstein has an egg-shaped penis because I think more of them have egg-shaped penis. And now that what's his name? It comes out, he's got a vagina-shaped penis.
Yeah, right? Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I've never in my 35 years ever heard of just another dude making fun of another guy and another guy making fun of another dude in the locker room or anything like that. I've never even heard, is that even like a medical thing, an egg-shaped penis?
I mean,
and this is I think we should just talk about just this the rest of the night.
Just the egg-shaped penises.
My theory today was that it was from the degradation of their DNA. Because they have so, just horribly damaged their DNA as a result of the stuff that they're doing. All right, I think this is the best it's going to get.
Well, we can set it on here and it's going to put it right there.
Well, no, I mean, here. Why don't we actually go like that? So we just
That's fine.
Yeah, we just talk into it like this.
That's fine.
Okay. Egg Stain Island. Wait.
A lot of the newer MK Ultra victims that have been released are saying that, that these people, even they know they've gone too far. Even they know they've gone too far with their crap that they're doing, messing around with nature, trying to be gods and all this stuff that they're doing. And so they apparently, a lot of people say that all the dead, everybody is down there in Antarctica, and they're all like zombies, like really like the Michael Jackson video, Thriller.
Okay, my mom said...
Oh, tell your mom I said hi.
She's watching right now, so...
Oh, hi, Red Pill's mom.
She said, the one that perplexes me the most is, and the lion shall lie down with the lamb, which is now the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. Not exact quote, but I never remember wolf. So why wasn't Tom Cruise's 2007 movie Wolves for Lambs? I don't know. That was Lions for Lambs. That was a film, yeah. Hold on. Somebody said that Roger Ailes' genitalia looked like raw hamburger. And that we can look it up. So I'm going to do that. Roger Ailes raw hamburger. Because this seems to be like a continuing thread. They were like raw hamburger. What?
So what? But
well, you know how
their physical features are breaking down through cloning, or what if
their DNA?
Through their DNA, but what if it's just like, I mean, that obviously, I'm not saying that's not what it is. I'm saying obviously that's what we've heard, but like they, from what these people do, they eat kids, they eat pineal glands, they mutilate kids. What if these people are just like, I don't know. Like I was gonna say victims of like this stuff, but then usually a victim stays a victim. Like it's not gonna be like they're not gonna rise to the top of a freaking Hollywood and be like Weinstein, right?
Well, they have the ability to put their consciousness on a disc, on a chip that can be implanted, and so. If they do that and the person's DNA has already been shredded by it's not just time travel, it's other things that they do. They have these jump pads that they do, that they found in the Sumerian. I think we talked about that one time, the transport pads that they back engineered. And the Germans did this, pre-World War II, and then shared the technology with us because they were the Illuminati. It was the Illuminati. They were actually planning and plotting, the Illuminatis in America with the Germans against all of us for the New World Order. And so this technology was available in the United States as well as Germany, and they were sharing it. And they were jumping, like they say, that they even have a jump room in the Hilton Hotel. That there's a jump room, and these people never have to be in the same, they just jump. That's what they do. But what it does is it tears your DNA. In order to do that, in order for the physical thing to happen, it has to do something, disintegrate the DNA, and then fuse it back together. That happens. And when that happens, it never comes back right. And so if you keep doing this repeatedly, your DNA literally changes. It's like missing parts, like the part where you have feelings and stuff like that. And when these people go into other bodies, at a certain point, they usually actually die. And so then they take the chip and put the chip in a clone. And that's when you got your real trouble, is when they put those chips in the clones. These things, they just eat, sleep, and have sex and kill. That's all they do. And they're all down there. They're all down there. And they say some of them are up here. these MK Ultra victims say. Some of them are up here, and if you watch the court channel, I think it's called Trials and Justice, or Justice and Trials, or something, Law and Justice, or something like that, and they show all the live trials. Some of these people, you could really see where they might be, lizards or something.
Right. So
it's really creepy.
I wanted to say, like, there's an example. You talk about body jumping, and you talk about you're fine, yeah, and you talk about launch pads and stuff like that. So a friend of mine, I can't say his name, but a friend of mine who's worked at the same place for 10 years. I'm with the mic. There we go. 10 years. Did the same thing every day for work. He was a manager of a pharmacy. He had a very important job that he's giving people medication. We all know about pharma and all that crap. Anyways, the story is he goes into work. He's been there for 10 years. He goes to unlock the key code to get into the pharmacy. He's like, I don't even know what the code is. He gets up, he doesn't know what the code is. Then he starts panicking, almost having like a panic attack because the store's about to open. He's got to get in there. So he's like, I have it on my phone. I have the code. So he types in the code. Then he goes into work, sits at the computer, literally doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know. He works at a pharmacy. He doesn't even know the names of the medicines. He doesn't know when someone's calling about how many doses to take. Can I mix these two medicines? He doesn't even know what to do. So he was like, I think I had a jump in. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? What is a jump in? Yeah. And he's like, that's when you're completely yourself and then you're not yourself. It's like somebody enters you for a brief second. I don't know what the hell that is, but then he said it was just gone. But he said for like 15 minutes he had no idea what he was doing, and had worked there for 10 years. Body jumper, jump in, whatever you want to say, step in. I've heard before, but scary stuff to say the least.
Well, don't think for a second they haven't experimented with that idea. And they are, according to these MK Ultra victims, they are able to go in and wipe out parts of your memory. It's because, see, these MK Ultra victims, they don't get out of there without getting chipped. So they're chipped. They're tracking them. They're able to gang stalk them and all of this stuff. And yet so many of them are just hell-bent on getting the truth out there. And some of them actually say that these people know they've gone too far and that they actually want to be stopped, like a serial killer wants to be. It's called
a walk-in. That's what it was. I'm sorry. And somebody posted that. A walk-in. It's called a walk-in. It's like a real thing. It's a real term. And somebody says, did he have a stroke? No, he's my age. He didn't have a stroke. And he was free. It's not a possession. He really thinks that he just did not know. He completely lost his sense of who he was. Crazy.
Well, they have the ability to wipe out people's memories if they want to, and these MK Ultra victims are saying, some of the more recent ones are saying that the reason they're out and they're allowing them to tell all of this is because it's called the Great Awakening. Yes. And what they do is they lose their memory. That's what they call it in the MK Ultra program, the Great Awakening. And they lose, lots of memories because they got all kinds of personalities going on, and it's all planned. They are programmed to have these personalities and do these things. And so their memories are wiped, and they're doing all these things to these people. They're breaking their brains, wiping their memories, letting them remember this, letting them remember that, having this removed, that removed. They're sending them out. And what's happened is that they know what they want. They called it the Great Awakening, and they woke a bunch of them up, is what they did. Like Donald Marshall and Og Talese, and there's a guy, Phil Chupa. They all kind of came out at once. And at this time, same time, Nicki Minaj began tweeting, "Stop human cloning." A lot of people in the rap industry, Bob and a lot of other ones, started tweeting, "Stop human cloning." All at once, these tweets came up. And what they're saying is they want They want people to find out about it. They want people to know. And somebody raised the issue about a psychopath. You know how a psychopath is? What good is it when you're a narcissistic psychopath if nobody knows you're the one doing it and nobody knows what you're doing? There's a certain amount of a psychopath that has to, it's no good unless everybody knows you're doing it and knows what you're doing, you know? And so they want that. They want I think it might have been part even of their New World Order that they were going to send these people out right before they took over everything and start scaring us with these stories and stuff. And then they were going to take over.
So I have a question. So when we talk about Mandela effect, I saw somebody post in the chat, like you remember something and maybe you don't, something like that, or they're changing. Wonder how this falls into the category of deja vu as well. Like, what the hell is that? I want to know what that is. Well,
there is something called nostalgia programming, and it's like what's the name of that movie? Stand By Me, maybe? Might be that.
Okay.
What's going on?
I don't know. We had to move something over.
Technical.
Okay. Like Stand By Me, where they have all the old cars and the girls are wearing all the old clothes, and people watch it and they get this warm, nostalgic feeling. And a lot of times I think that triggers like what you call a deja vu moment, because it's like you've been there or done it before, or seen that place before or something. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just saying, I had deja vu all the time. That I'm just saying that, I'm like, this has happened before, for sure.
It happened twice today.
It happened with me today, with him. Like, I'm like, we were at a restaurant and I was like, he said something to me about William Barr, and I said, I've had this conversation with you before. It was very strange.
So I don't know, but maybe there is something to the whole nostalgia thing, or maybe you were alive once before and you knew each other in another dimension.
Bro.
In another life or something. Anything's possible at this point. But yeah, deja vu is weird. Sometimes that happens to me too. And I swear I've done it before. What are you two laughing at?
No.
I almost spilled water all over the computer. It would have been terrible.
Before we go into the second hour, which is like right now, I don't even know if we should attempt to do call-ins.
I mean, yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude, we're gonna have to start my show late because I know that because everything is set up. It's gonna take us a while
to switch back over to you.
Yeah. I mean, because we're gonna have to do some testing again. We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, well, I mean, we can do. I think. Hey, son of a green card, what's up, buddy? I mean, you should definitely do shout outs.
Yeah, I need to do shout outs from everybody who's done the super chat tonight.
Yeah.
I need to do that. Can you just go scroll? Because
that's the top, Floricio.
All right. So what are they? Oh, it gives the full thing of what they said. All right. So Floricio, I gave you a shout out. Thank you so much. Also, Floricio, you're gonna get your handwritten thank you letter and everything like that at the beginning of the month. So stay tuned for that. She is a $25 and higher Patreon. Dana Finkler, what's up, my man? My big boy. He says, F yeah, the boys are together. Thick ankle dog face. I showed Red Pill the design today.
It's sick.
Yeah. So a big shout out to Buck Swain, who actually helped me get this off the ground. So it's going to be great. So the Mikado 16, if you build it, he will come, not they. That's another one. That's another Mandela effect.
Oh, yeah.
Dreams, from Field of Dreams. If you build it, I've always thought it was they will come. They're talking about a freaking baseball team. He's putting together a ball team. Why would it be one guy? Makes no sense. Jeff George, did you see Biden's speech in Iowa? He said everything Trump does is through a looking glass. Get out of here.
That's
Stop it, Jeff
cool.
George. That's crazy.
Cool.
That's crazy. V, thank you so much for the $5 chat. Hello, Red Pill and Thomas. God bless you guys, and thank you for what you do for us. Yes, Bielik brothers. Bielik, my bad. Bielik brothers. The older brother died, and they went back to have him born again. Insane story. Linda, me and you may have to go over that story like one-on-one, like dig into that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nicholas No, what's up, big dog? Thank you so much, Nicholas No. Oh, guys, we have so much to talk about offline, and we will, my man. Yeah. Mikado 16 again. Thomas, I heard you listen to the YouTuber Tron. Do I? He's been talking about the Trumps being time travelers. I believe they are. Trump's uncle was part of the seizures of Tesla's house. Yep. And rumor was that he was close to time travel. Yeah, absolutely. Michael Kinney, our former first lady, has a first name, and her name is Michelle. The Mandela effect is actually Michael. Mind blown. It's very true. It's going to change to Michael because we're going to see her ball bag. And then from Gia Love, hey Loki, come on baby.
Come on, Loki.
My husband always told me he wanted to be a cop, but his ex-wife wouldn't let him. Now, in the last 2 years, he says his dad would not let him, not his ex. That's kind of strange. That's a little strange.
That is strange. If he had started out telling you that it was his dad and then it changed to his ex, I'd say he was just trying to be low-key in the beginning of your relationship.
That's very true.
But that's the wrong way around.
Yes. All right, and then from Faithful Anon, thank you so much, says, Montauk Project survivors speak of this with Daniel Duval. Love to see you guys interview him. We shall see.
Okay.
Quinte, thank you so much. We talked about that. Insectozoids. Michael Kinney again. Pretty sure the white microphone is off, guys.
We got it.
It's fixed. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, bud.
The rabbit hole, off subject, but do you guys think that we will use alien abduction, in quotes, to explain the rapture? And do you think maybe the serpent in the Garden of Eden was a Draco reptilian? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've definitely pondered on that one before. It's very possible.
Yeah. And Michael Kinney says, flat girth. That's pretty funny. Flat girth. Funny people. Okay.
Yeah.
And from Baby Love 78, have you wondered if the coronavirus is why I feel like I had that right now. Have you wondered if the coronavirus is what was removed in that, in quote, military raid in LA? Because it was supposed to be released in LA as well.
That is a great comment. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. And I also think I might have caught coronavirus on the plane today.
Yeah.
There was multiple people with the SARS.
Oh, God.
There was people of Asian descent that were hanging out only on the walls. They would not hang out in the general population, so I think they knew something that I
And now you're here, so you need to get the hell out. So.
Yeah, now I'm just spreading coronavirus all across the United States.
Right.
Chris Hawkins,
whatever they are all poached. What?
They're all poached. Hold on, it jumped. There we go.
There we go. They're all poached, exactly. Mirror Kitten. Never seen this, a new name. We love you guys. MAGA, Cape, America, great, absolutely. Yep. And big time Weeping Willow, always slamming, just dunking every time.
Weeping Willow, you are so sweet.
That is
and such a great supporter. And it's people like you and all of you guys that come back here every Friday. I'm sorry, I just butted right in.
No,
I just butted right in. But it's people like you guys. Honestly, we work so hard to try to just get the littlest video going or something. You know, it doesn't seem like it, but we do. And sometimes you get so hard, but are so tired. But Friday night comes and it's so much fun to do this. And it's all because of you guys. And Weeping Willow, you're so, I mean, you're such a great supporter to what we're doing. And as you can see, Thomas, you know, they've got like equipment and stuff, you know, that they have to set up. All this stuff, it takes time, it costs money, it's time consuming. And
was it, dude?
No.
Yeah, both of you have really professional setups, and that stuff costs money, it takes time, and it's not easy.
Absolutely. I agree, Linda. This was not easy to put together today. Son of a green card. Sounds like J.E. We all know Jeffrey. Where everyone knows, but no one could do anything, as if he was almost to flaunt it. I don't understand.
You was talking about Roger Ailes there, son of a green card. I mean, the sad thing is that
most women in broadcasting for about like 20 or 30 years only got a job because they went through Roger Ailes, which means that he abused them in some fashion or another. Like he was a major gatekeeper for several different networks. So yeah, real sad. Fred
Cares, thank you so much for the super chat. Laurie
Nelson
Posner, thank you. Keep it up. This is the funniest show I've ever heard. My favorite people in one place. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that, dude. Love you all from Torque 11111. And Melinda, the Republic Tea Room. We could see what is going on.
Well, it won't go down to that one. Someone else send a super chat so we can read Melinda's. She said.
Oh, click it.
Yeah.
Oh, because it says, hey Linda, Thomas, and RedPill78, patriots, mods, and visitors. Satan and demons have no authority in the natural. They need hollowed out humans to do their evil bidding. Fallen ones can become corporal.
Corporal.
No, my bad.
You can see either way.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Trump Newt 62.
Without all of you, I would still be sleeping, dude, bro.
Glad to be here with you, bro.
Yeah. All right, so, Dana Finkler. By the way, RedPill78, waiting for that laugh loop last week.
Dana, I put it out, bro. It's on my backup channel. You guys, you got to check my backup channel for the clips. That's where I release the clips. It's there right now. It says, John D'Souza and RedPill78 discuss the Big Mike situation, I think it's called.
Big Mike.
It's like 5 to 10 minutes of me just dying. Big Mike!
I'm like red, like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Where's Loki? Where'd Loki go?
He went back.
You guys, how weird is it that Thomas has a cat that is the same breed as my cat?
It's weird.
Really?
Yeah,
Same thing.
We both have Seal Point Siamese cats, or Blue Point, one of the two. I don't know what.
Seal Point.
Seal Point.
Have you guys ever gotten together before? Is this the first time
First time we've met.
First time we've ever met.
Oh yeah, and we get to be here to be a part of it.
That's right.
Exactly. Like I picked him up from the airport. Then we're just like, he's like, well, I felt like you were kind of like jet lagged or something.
Oh my God, I've been so jet lagged. I've been up since 3:30 in the morning. I got maybe 3 hours of sleep. I tried to sleep on the plane. I couldn't. I didn't get tired until we hit the runway in Greenville, and then I started to fall asleep, and I've just been fighting off a nod all day. I really could have used a nap, but I'm getting my second wind right now.
Yeah. And again, guys, tomorrow, that's gonna be crazy. Seriously, that we're gonna go see that pool.
Yo, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, I want to do a vlog. I want to do vlogs from there.
Yeah.
And just be like, I want to bring like a I don't know if you can bring paranormal stuff though. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, like an EVP meter? Just get it on your phone.
Yeah. Like EVP and all that kind of stuff to go to the Vanderbilt. Linda, have you ever been there? You're in the South.
I'm jealous. I've actually been there, but I was just a little kid. My grandparents took me and my brothers there when we were little. And, I barely hardly remember. One big house is like another when you're 10 years old or something. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm jealous. I would love to go back there.
Well, I mean, from where I live, it's like an hour to get there. And I just had the idea. I'm like, let's go do this. But anyways, let's get back. I want to get back on.
Hey, my girlfriend's in the audience. Hi, honey, I love you.
Oh, hi, Red Pill's girlfriend, and Red Pill's mom.
Yeah. Is this your name or no?
No, don't say no names yet.
Okay, we're good. You want to continue on this, or do you want to talk about something else, or is there more to this?
Let's have people call in with their Mandela effect experiences.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, we still have another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
A little less than.
I was wondering if this is a little off topic, but while we're waiting for people to call in with their Mandela effect things, or write their Mandela effect things, did you guys notice that the president gave another Q post at the end of his speech? The very last thing he said was, "The best is yet to come."
No, that's so sweet.
Yeah, he said it.
Did you hear that, honey?
Okay.
You just said it a couple days ago, and now the president says it at the end of the. What was it? The end of a speech, or was it the end of the rally?
It was at the very end. He leaned in and he went, "The best is yet to come. Good night, everybody." And then he left. And so that was like, boom! Like I jumped up and started screaming. And my neighbors probably think I'm crazy. It's only the thousand. How many cube proofs have we had?
Right, exactly.
1 million.
Did you see what this gave me chills today, Linda? Did you see the people yelling at Pelosi today?
Yeah.
It gave me chills. Like I was like, it's really starting to happen. And then Nadler saying that he's done. He's done. He's like, I'm done doing this. I quit.
It's happening
because his wife is sick or something. That's the.
She's probably sick of looking at him.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah. So. No, I'm just saying this is happening in real time. It's happening in real time.
Yeah, it's time for Nadler and Pelosi to go down to Antarctica. Their DNA is shredded.
Their ass down there myself. So yeah, let me set it up. Let me bring up the move your thing. I don't want to break it.
No, here. Where
you can
do you want me to go?
Just go to actually minimize this side. Just minimize. There you go. Then go to this.
Oh wait, we got a couple more. Did you say these? Thank you.
Yeah, we could do those too. Stacks XX. Thank you so much. He said salt. What?
Salt shaker.
Salt shaker.
Where the heck did that come from? I've never seen that before.
I haven't either.
That's cool.
But I've seen Stacks in here before though.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to run to the little girls' room.
That's fine.
Yeah,
we'll set up.
And Truman will be here. He's lost in fur.
There you go.
Good, Truman.
His bed is nicer than mine. It's Chris Hawkins again. Big Mike in his swinging 6 o'clock shadow. Okay. Michael Kinney, Chimney Rock State Park is worth the trip. I've been there. It's amazing. I went to the top of Chimney Rock. It's pretty neat. And then Scotty Martin, you guys hear the whistleblower is Schiff's daughter's boyfriend?
It's not the same person. Elric Charlie Mello. He's a gay man, first of all. But Schiff's daughter's boyfriend looks similar, but it's a different guy. It's a different guy. And Charlie Mello, he is he's a little fey. There we go. Meeting ID. Oh, different meeting ID.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here. 595 485 429.
Hold on, like it's just such a glitch.
485 dash 429.
So speaking of not human, does anybody think like I do that Nadler and Bloomberg are about this far from being humanoids?
I bet I can't even imagine. Nadler's genitalia. Jesus.
Non-existent.
Egg-shaped.
Well, this is coming from a lady, so yeah, it probably is like
so gross.
It's probably like unrecognizable.
Yeah, he's a real weird-looking guy. Nadler is.
Oh my God, and Trump hates him so much.
And Schiff is a weirdo looking.
I've never seen a human's body, his head look like that ever.
You know, Black Conservative Patriot had a thumbnail that had a cartoon of Schiff's neck. It was really, really long. It was like that thin, and then his head came out real big on top. It's like a head on a stick.
It's basically a what are those people called? Like a that
his
like
eyes were real big.
Yeah. What is it called when they like do the like when somebody's like, this is what this person looked like, and then they have to do the sketch. It's like a characterization. Yeah, but it's real. It's like, yeah, this is what this person, like a witness testimony. Like this is what he looked like.
Oh, like
I know you know this.
Yeah, I know. It's like a they do the sketch, so they're wanted, like that kind of thing.
Someone's
Suspect.
Like, what did the person look like? What did the criminal look like? And then they draw it. What is that person called?
It's like a police sketch.
Composite sketch.
Composite sketch.
Witness composite sketch. So when somebody draws like an actual physical pencil on top of a giant balloon head, that's like an actual composite sketch of Adam Schiff, in my personal opinion. All right, there are the numbers. If you want to call in, the first number is East Coast, the second number is Central, and the third number is West Coast, and you see the meeting ID. You have an opportunity to speak with all three of us. And P.S., guys and gals, why don't you smash that like button, please?
Why don't you let me smash that?
Jesus. The vulgarity.
Okay.
So this is kind of cool. This is kind of like we're all hanging out, like the people in the chat, and all of us are all hanging out together.
Yeah, guys, glad you're all here. Let me just say, don't forget to come to my show, too, after this. Everybody's going to be all tired out. Oh, Clinton has a distinctively shaped swing vote, too. That's funny. Son of a green card. If you say the whistleblower's name 3 times into a mirror, the other half of Schiff's name shows up. All right, looks like we have our first caller. We have 2 callers. 3 callers. So we're going to go with that first caller. Caller number 1, don't forget to mute your mic, or excuse me, mute your...
Hello?
Hello. Are you there, caller?
Yes. What do I need?
Mute the stream in the background so it doesn't come...
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, I did. I apologize.
It's okay. All right. So, yes, what's your name? You're on the air with Red Pill and Linda.
Okay. Hi, Thomas. This is Kyla Cartwright.
Well, no, this is Red Pill. Thomas had to go get something to drink.
Okay. Hi, Red Pill.
Thomas is here.
Hi, deplorable Linda.
Hi.
I have a Mandela effect experience I would love to share.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
I'm 55 now.
Okay.
And I remember when I was a very young girl, I was reading somebody else's Bible. So I don't even know how old their Bible was. But I remember, without a doubt, because now I'm 55 and it's never left my memory, that Genesis 1 used to say, in the beginning, God recreated the earth. Now it says created. And because of being red-pilled myself and all the research that I've done through all the YouTuber channels, and just it makes sense to me now why it doesn't say that anymore, because Earth has been recreated more than once.
My back hurts so bad.
Due to Planet X, and they had to get rid of the fact that it was recreated by God for Adam and Eve, because they had to let people think that history began then.
Yeah.
And that way we didn't know about history pre-Adam and Eve. And the reason why Earth was destroyed by Planet X, when it come through the last 2 or 3 times, when it came through closer than it would the times of that's in the Bible. There were other times when it comes closer as it's going to this time, when it totally messes up the oceans and the land and everything. So they had to get rid of that recreated earth in the Bible, so people would not question what's that mean, recreated, to hide the reason of Planet X and the history of the world prior to. But I know for a fact I read it, because it would make no sense why I would think it said that in the first place.
Could be.
And I have like 25 Bibles that I actually have accumulated, and none of them are old enough to to say other than created Earth. But I know that I read it.
Well, here's the thing. We got a lot of people saying, nope, never happened in the audience. But we know that the Bible has been edited a number of times by a number of different groups, by a number of different people. So if you had an old enough copy of the Bible, I do believe that this could possibly have been true. Or even if it wasn't that old, it could have changed just due to the Mandela effect, which is the whole point of this show.
Absolutely.
Excellent call.
Like it. What's your name, by the way?
Kyla Cartwright.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The email, right? You sent me the email?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I started to read it, and then I had to go pick Red Pill up. So I will finish that. But I really appreciate your call. I appreciate you getting in contact with me. And I will write you back. I can promise you that. And interesting story. I walked in halfway through it, but I got the gist of it. And
well, yeah, it's if people want to say no, it never happened, it's because they didn't get to see the same Bible I got to see.
Sure.
They didn't get a copy of a Bible that was old enough, that was written in its original form before all these new copies came out.
Good, yeah. Well, Kayla, I appreciate your call, and I will get back to you. I promise you that. Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, don't forget, Schiff had Anthony Bourdain killed. Let's not let that die.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And if anybody doesn't know what she's talking about, you can watch the video on my channel.
Okay.
I believe it. I troll him on Twitter with I made a meme of Anthony Bourdain's face, and it says, I witnessed a pedophile kill a young boy at Chateau Marmont, and he had me killed. His name was Adam Schiff, and I tag him on his Twitter all the time.
That's brutal, son. That is brutal.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, I'm not a fan of pedophiles, and especially ones that act like they are perfect. So I want him down. I want him to go down.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Jagged Little Red Pill, I see in the chat that you say you have a Bible from 1707. I'd like to know what your Bible says. Please tag Thomas in the chat so we see it pop up easily, or you can send a super chat.
Absolutely. By the way, guys, it's going to be on a 3-minute timer for the call. Yeah. Because we need to start doing that because we have so many, and I want Red Pill to be able to get on his show, and I want Linda to get her questions answered and everything like that. So as soon as we say hello, you state your name and where you're from, the timer's on.
All right, caller with the phone number ending 2016, you're on the air. Can we get your name?
Hey, this is Aaron from Tucson, Arizona.
Aaron,
Hi, Aaron.
What's up?
Not much. How are you all doing tonight?
Good.
All right, awesome. So, Thomas, one time when I joined your one of your weekly call-in shows, I brought up the Great Solar Flash. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
Okay, good. It was the first time you heard it, and I knew very little about it, and I was only able to explain a little bit of it to you. So, Linda, in all the stuff you've researched outside of the headlines, what do you know of the Great Solar Flash, if anything?
I don't. It's one of the things that I'm aware of, but I haven't had a chance to really dive into that yet. So, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, fill us in, man.
Sure.
What have you learned?
Sure. All right. So as far as I know, I like to think about when Q says nothing can stop what's coming, nothing, and supposedly, from what I've researched, I've only ever read the same thing from 2 different sources. I usually like to go off at least 4 or 5. But anyways, supposedly there's a shift in the energy in our universe, and it's happening at a slow rate, and that could explain how so many people are waking up, they're noticing things, and they're waking up in droves. Now, with the shift of energy, supposedly there's going to be like a solar flash from, I think it's our sun or a star from somewhere else in our galaxy. I'm not all too sure about that. And what it does is it raises the vibration of the universe, and when that reaches us, it affects our DNA in a benevolent way, and it expands the consciousness, and because it changes the vibration of the environment, it will be very detrimental to those associated with the cabal, because they are of dark energy, and they're evil. This kind of environment they won't be able to thrive in. Now, before I found out about the truth about one of my sources, Gaia, they've fallen into a pretty sketch category, and so they've been thrown into question. But a lot of them reference, the Draco reptilians, how a lot of them are, I guess, afraid of this event that's coming, and they refer to the Great Solar Flash, and because they feed off of dark energy and pain and suffering, and if the environment around them changes to a higher vibration, it would kill them. And that makes sense, if you consider the two different energies. That's all I have yet to do all my research, or more research into it. I get so caught up in other things, but again, I think about how Q says nothing can stop what's coming, and that could mean anything. But I like to think sometimes it could be referring to the Great Solar Flash if it's real.
Aaron, dude, I agree, man. I think that, once if a vibrational field or whatever your environment is gets too high for reptilians, I believe that it does hurt them. And when our vibrations, I even believe when our vibrations get too low or too high, we start to feel it. Dude, Aaron, thank you for the call. Appreciate it, dude. Good to hear from you again. So, Linda, what do you think? I was talking about this the other day. What if we're going through this we're definitely going through a positive change right now. 100%. Yeah. And a lot of people are saying that, in quote unquote, I know people don't like this word, but ascension symptoms. Yeah. And it's what if our vibration is going higher and we're still low? So it's hurting us. Is that do you think that could be what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I think there's what he's talking about also, a part of this is that there is an opportunity for us now. There's an opportunity to end this cycle that's been going on for so long as a result of this solar thing. This is the way I think this is what he's talking about. And so that's what we're doing. And that's why we're trying to raise our consciousness, because the only way to kill these things is to turn it off. In other words, all of our stress and anxiety and fear and all this stuff that we're feeling, if we all stop, doing that, they don't have anything to feed off of. They do feed off this negative energy. I've heard they vibrate with it. And so, I think that's what he's talking about. And what else was I going to say? Talking about that we do have this one chance that we have to get out of this whole cycle that we seem to be caught in, and we still don't even know how long it's been going on. So.
All right, next caller, you're on the air. You're the last four of your phone number is 6790. Are you there?
I am here.
Can we get your name for the audience?
I'm Zoe. I called a little while ago into Red Pill, and I'm so glad to see all three of you together. Well, it's delightful.
Glad you're here with us, Zoe.
Absolutely.
I just think what Linda just said really kind of encapsulates things. There's cognitive dissonance, and then we're experiencing this kind of biological byproduct of that. Yes. It has to manifest itself in the material, right? So that's a complicated process to go from thought into matter, into action, into all of these things. And I had all sorts of things to say, but what Linda was just saying, the confusion is kind of, I don't know, it seems natural. We just have to force our way through it. But what I wanted to just say was kind of about truth and this whole Mandela effect. There's an author, David Hawkins, who was like an MD, PhD, and he talks about like power versus force and truth versus falsehood. And like kind of the distillation of that is that like truth is truth, right? So no matter how much you break it down, like it never breaks apart in that way. So like we have to kind of like wed ourselves to that. Sorry, I think I heard somebody in the background.
Not muting their show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I completely lost my question, but I'm just happy to talk to you all, and it's always a fun. It's always a fun conversation with everyone that calls in. So
100%, yes. Very, very fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you have a great point. And Linda, it's your point. It's this. You're saying that we have to adjust to this. Like, I mean, like, is it our souls adjusting to this? Our brain waves? Like, what is it?
When the Bible, I think it's the Bible that says hearts will fail them and all this. And that Q says that, people are going to go insane and stuff like that. I think that's what this is, because if these people don't start waking up, then the knowledge that's coming, they're not going to be able to process it. We have had time to process each little thing and know that it's true. But having all this information come out at once and the person's not ready for it, and they're not, I mean, think of how hard it was for us.
Right. Wouldn't you lose your mind if you hadn't? I just told my mom the other day, I'm like, the world will be far less confusing to you if you stop watching CNN. It'll be easy. Yeah, TV in general, all of that. Like, it'll be far easier to digest. And there's something about the process of like questioning that helps distill things down. And again, like truth just gets clearer and clearer and clearer. And I've started to like enjoy the process like of questioning. And yeah, it's dizzying and like you don't always know where to look.
Absolutely.
But
I agree.
Ultimately, the center becomes clearer. So anyways, that's really all.
You had some great information.
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. That was really a great.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so okay, rant over to the next. Thank you all.
Zoe.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
Zoe.
bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, you guys, we have an extremely special caller. My girlfriend is on the line.
Oh.
Real RedPill78 girlfriend. Honey, are you there? Oh, it says mute, so like your microphone should.
I just want to make sure my face isn't showing.
No, it's Baby Yoda, honey.
Okay, good. You look like you're having so much fun. I'm so happy.
I am. Yeah, this is great so far. I was struggle bus all day long, but once the juices started flowing and the audience was here, then everything worked out. How are you, honey?
I'm okay. I just wanted to say that I love you, and I'm not gonna take any more time. So let somebody else call in that has a question.
Okay, I love you too. It's good to talk.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
I love that avatar. And he
the best.
got coffee.
All right. I think that Jimmy just came in, but that 0260 was here before that. Caller number with the 0260. Are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Red Pill. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
It's Very Southern.
Who is it?
Deborah.
Deborah.
This is Very Southern. How are you?
Hey, welcome.
I've tried to get through before, but I couldn't. I wanted to touch on something that Thomas said earlier about the deja vu.
Okay.
I was 5, living in Kentucky with my father and my little sister. And we had gone to a place called Natural Bridge, if anybody's ever been there. It's a beautiful, beautiful park. And I said, I've been here before. And my father said, no, honey, you've never been here before. And I said, Daddy, I know that I've been here before. And he says, no, hon, when you dream, your body your soul goes out of your body and you visit many places. He says, have you ever woken up like you've fallen off your bed and caught yourself? And I said, yes, I have. And he said, that is your soul waking you up, because if you fell, you would have died. Now, I take this with a grain of salt, being that it was my father. He was an engineer, super, super brilliant, and he was the only person in his whole family that ever went to college. He always had a book in his hand. I don't think he ever read the Bible. And he ended up at about 70 years old becoming Mormon. So I don't know anything about that. But I did want to tell you that that's what he believes. He believes that your soul went out and visit places. Because I've several times, and I've traveled all over the world and lived in most of the states in the United States. And every place I've gone, I feel like this is so familiar. I've done this. I've been here. So I don't know about the dreams. I know I'm a very vivid dreamer. I do dream in color and 3-dimensional, and sometimes I dream inside of a dream, and that's really freaky. But I just wanted to say hi and tell you I love you guys. You guys are my favorite. And I love my Friday nights with you all. And keep up the good work. And I'll one of these days figure out how to do this PayPal thing. I've tried. But, Thomas, I need to talk to you about hooking up my, my VPN on my computer. So I'll DM you, and maybe you can help me walk me through it. I've got it on my phone.
Thanks.
Good, because I can't get it on my computer, but I can get it on my phone. So, you love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Deb.
I just want to say before we go on to the next caller, I think her dad is right. I think, we've talked about this many times. We are spiritual, energetic beings who just happen to have a physical body. And when we go to sleep, I absolutely believe that our consciousness is not relegated to simply stay within our bodies while our brain is sleeping. I think that it is totally possible for our consciousness to see what else is out there, maybe go other places, because our soul is not confined to our bodies when we sleep. So, astral projection, is what that is,
Sure.
I think that, all we're doing is sending our minds out, and then we wake up and we're back in our bodies.
Which there are white papers about people in the CA, people in government, high up in government rankings that are able to do this. They teach military, probably Blackwater people, people that we don't even really know about, but these special ops teams, they know how to do this. People who are able to do telekinesis, telepathy, astral projection. There's white papers on all this, right, Linda?
Yeah. And the Russians were doing it as well. There was like a big competition. So there's something to this. And that what they say, that they teach them to do that because the benefits are unbelievable to the military, but they get people to astrally project and go read secret documents and stuff like that and come back with the information.
Well, I think that they're kind of, synonymous. Remote viewing, you're doing it when you're awake. And then, you're just in like a meditative state. Yeah. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow with Ken, one of the viewers from the show. He's a remote viewer. Tomorrow night at the regularly scheduled time. But I think that astral projection is the same type of thing, but you're just not doing it on purpose. It just happens. All right. We're going to go on to the next caller. Caller with the phone number 9928. Are you there?
Am I there?
Yes. Yeah. What's your name?
Ellen. I'm from Texas.
Well, Ellen.
I love your work. All three of you do a great job, but this was funny. I pulled out a cookbook for Christmas last year, and another book fell on the floor, and it was called The Oxford Companion to the Year of Calendar Customs and Time Reckoning. And it's put out by Oxford University Press in 99, and 2003 was the reprint. But on the cover of the Time Reckoning calendar, it points to Q. It has a Santa sock coming down like a Christmas stocking with a hand that points to Q. And under the stocking, if somebody could pull up the cover to this, you'll just fall down. Under the stocking, it says AN, and then you can't see what's under it, and then it's MUS, like anonymous.
Huh. What is this? Let me look this up on my phone. What is it?
It's the Oxford Companion to the Year, and then it's an exploration of calendar customs. It's put out by Oxford Press and Bonnie Blackburn and Leo Frank Holford Stevens. But the copy I have is the 2003. It's the dust jacket that shows the calendar with the, just like the Santa sock.
Wow.
It's hysterical if you can pull up the cover. If I knew how to send it, I'd like.
We're looking at it right now on Thomas's phone, and yeah, I'll be gosh darned if it isn't pointing directly at Q.
And look, it's a Santa stocking. Look underneath the arm. It almost says anonymous.
Yeah.
Like the arm is covering some of the.
Very
weird. And then Solaris, and then around the outside, it's almost like the infinity symbol. And then you almost have on the inner ring like M's and W's, like going up and going down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't really see the inner circle because it's too little for me, the one that goes around the anonymous Solaris. But I just thought it was hysterical. I was like, oh my gosh, time reckoning. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Awesome. Well, thank you for your call. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right.
You know, there's also that book about Barron Trump.
Oh, yeah.
The time traveling.
Yep. All right. So I think that we've got these two callers and then Jimmy and Carl. So caller 6775.
If you want to end like 15 minutes early so you can get yours set up.
Oh, okay. All right.
All
right. So we're going to take 3 more callers. Caller 6775, are you there on the line?
Yes.
All right. What's your name?
My name's Karen.
Karen, welcome to the call.
Hi. Hey, thank you, the three of you. You are so supportive for those of us who began to think we were losing our minds.
Glad to be able to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we've all been there, right?
It feels that way. The first time the Mandela effect really affected me was to jump into a Ford truck and look at the logo and try to figure out why they would specify Ford by putting a big deal in the Ford label.
The Ford label changed.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. It's true.
And then, like, people's names change. Things like Sally Fields is no longer got an S on the end. It's simply Field. And she no longer says, you like me, you really, really like me. She says, you like me right now.
Oh,
that is, very true. Very, very true.
Do you suppose they're laughing at us when they do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking it may be a clone, or so that like they may release the clone and then they change the name a little bit like that.
Exactly. There's so many different things going on in the world. How can we keep track of it? But I have an experience I wanted to share with you, if possible. When I was driving to Texas last year, I was on my way to Pensacola, and I was just driving along. I had no radio on. I was enjoying the sound of the travel, and suddenly something ran up on me through my left-hand window. When I turned, I thought it was a dog, but I live in Colorado, so we're used to deer, things like that running up on us. But when I turned, it was something that was as tall as my window looking in at me, and it smiled at me. And it wasn't trying to make me afraid. It was just running next to me. I put on my gas, and I pulled forward and looked in my rearview side window, and there was something running back there.
Can you describe what it was? Was it humanoid? Was it animal-like?
It wasn't humanoid at all. It made me think it had to be a lizard. It was running like a greyhound runs. Is what I noticed in my side view window. But it was also, if the thing had stood up, it would have been very, very tall.
Wow, and you said that it smiled at you?
It smiled at me.
Oh, my goodness. That's incredible. Best call of the night. 100%.
I felt really grateful to have been at least red-pilled enough to not be afraid, number one, and to simply be able to move past it, not have it interfere with my thinking or anything like that. More than anything, it was probably the idea that I was going to try and have to explain this to people.
If you go on YouTube, there's some of that on there, and maybe you'll find somebody, because I was just watching something which was these people were driving down the road and something ran out. It was a cops, and they caught it on a dash cam. That's what it was, and they were talking to each other. It was a female cop and a male cop, and then you can hear the male cop go, "Did you see that?" And you can hear what? And they actually, the dash cam caught it. And there's a couple of other ones on YouTube that are just almost exactly like what you're just describing. And maybe you can go look at those, and maybe you'll see what you saw.
I have looked at a lot of that stuff just because I wanted to confirm the fact I wasn't losing my mind.
Wow,
but it didn't make me afraid. It wasn't trying to interfere with anything. That was what I was impressed with. I was hoping it wasn't a friend of mine.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for your call. I appreciate you calling in. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Real quick, I mean, I think we should run through the super chats, and then we'll just...
All right.
Yeah, and then we need to end it, because I know...
Anybody who called in that we haven't gotten your call yet, make sure you call in the next 2 hours on my show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get everybody. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So you scrolling up. Yeah.
So Mythical says...
Yeah, Mythical says... actually, was it Rabbit... I think it was Rabbit Hole.
Yes.
Rabbit Hole. Thomas, you and Linda were talking about the Masonic buildings being made of granite. Also, the bottom layer of the Earth's crust is granite. Maybe that creates some kind of portal.
Well, yeah. Isn't that like an insulator or something like that? I mean, like... I don't know, but yes, I think that definitely there is some energetic qualities to the fact that it's granite.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mythical says, go to Suspicious Observers channel on YouTube for answers on the Great Solar Flash and daily space weather news. Namaste, my friends. Thank you, Mythical. I appreciate it, my man. Melissa Stewart, thank you for the great show. Where we go, one we go all. Thank you, Melissa. I greatly appreciate it. Kanish, thank you. Virginia, thank you. Zoe Ferrier.
I don't know why we can't get to Zoe's super chat. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Zoe said, love, truth, and fortitude. Let's do this. Oh, that's Zoe that called in.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you, Zoe. Appreciate it. So, any final words, Red Pill, and then Linda, any final words on this? This is a very cool experience. We may not do this for a very long time, or we could. I don't know.
But Thomas, something tells me we've already done it.
Yeah.
Linda gets it.
Eyes roll back in my head.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and make sure you tune back in at 10:30 here on my channel, and we're all going to be here doing another show with Nick No and William Cotel. We're talking about Benghazi.
Yeah. Linda, do you have anything to say? Plugs, anything like that? Let me know. Tell us now.
I don't really have any plugs, but I hope you guys have a great time tomorrow at the Biltmore Mansion, and I'll be looking for some photographs and some stuff.
Yeah, I'll be throwing vlogs up on Twitter.
I'm gonna be. It's my girlfriend's birthday next weekend, so I'm taking Friday and Saturday off. But I'm preparing a couple of shows. One of them is going to be on Thomas and I's experiences at the Biltmore, so we'll both have Biltmore footage. And Linda, have you ever heard of the Adam and Eve story? It's that book about the creation destruction, and that the clowns in America, they took it off the shelves and they classified it, and then they released like 57 pages of it.
Yeah.
One of my viewers sent me the full unredacted book. So one of my shows for next weekend is going to be on the Adam and Eve story. So I'm going to be going over the classified sections of the book. I might get arrested.
Awesome. Yeah, you might get a knock at your door.
Yeah.
Or a lizard or two.
Oh, I hope not, but we'll see.
Well, Linda, as always, I thank you. This is always fun. I mean,
yeah, this was double the fun.
South. What?
Double the fun.
Yes, exactly. So again, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna probably have another great episode. I know we will next Friday, and we'll be thinking about what topic we'll do. And
there's a whole bunch.
It's endless. It's always endless. So thanks for joining us. I really appreciate. Sorry we had tech problems in the beginning, but we worked through it. I'm glad all three of us could hang out tonight.
And it was worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really mean that, though. I'm glad all of us could do this, and I'm glad it was special for everybody. And again, Red Pill Show's about to come on now, so all we have to do is switch out some stuff. So please, everyone in the chat right now, just hang tough and then just go over to Red Pill Show. He's gonna talk about Benghazi. It's gonna be freaking nuts. I already know it. And the guy he's interviewing is a really outstanding interviewer. So we're all ready. And hello, Truman. Good night, Truman.
Good night.
I woke him up.
I love you, buddy.
All right, Linda, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you. I'll probably call you tomorrow from the Biltmore.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't wait to see the video. And as always, it's been great fun. And I hope you guys have a great time tomorrow.
Thank you. We got like 4 days, so we'll see what we get into.
Yeah.
Bye, Linda. Thank you.